welcome to the month of love. My name is still Rachel Engmann and welcome to the R&L Show. Today we have a very interesting topic for you. Like I said, it's the month of love, so we'll be doing a lot of love topics this month. Stay tuned, we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the R&L Show. Like I said, we are in the month of love, and this month we'll be treating a lot of love topics to keep your partner glued to you. I have with me here Odinehun Dr. from Brimpong III, Omanhini of Suma traditional area, and he's also a relationship and conflict management expert. Sure. Welcome to the R&L Show, Nana. I'm privileged to have you here. And I have with me also Mr. Raymond Abefa. He's a HR consultant. Today I have very special guests. I'm privileged.
Good evening and Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to you too, Nana, and good evening as well. Thanks for being on the R&L Show. Okay, so I'll start with you.
Sure.
Yes. What is conflict resolution in relationships?
Okay, so before we come to that, we want to look at what even constitutes conflict in the first place.
Okay, what is conflict in relationships?
Absolutely.
I should have put it that way.
Absolutely, and it's an aspect of human behavior, human interaction that we cannot do without. Conflicts arise because we are human beings, and conflicts are part and parcel of our lives as human beings. We relate to each other, we have different motives, different perspectives, and they are very important because if you ignore it, it's another way of not dealing with it. If you prevent it, it's a much better approach. But if you appreciate and manage it, then you are at a much better level of interacting and ensuring good human relations and good human livings. The reason why we have conflicts all over the world and we spend millions and billions of cedis and dollars or whatever currency to try and resolve it is because of the damaging effect that conflicts bring about. And you have personal conflicts, you have corporate conflicts, you have political conflicts, you have conflicts that occupy the news. In fact, someone said that there is no news like bad news. And most of the news we cover are because of misunderstanding, misinterpretation, misinformation, and you can see all the miss that are following it. And so, to put it broadly, and because we're in the month of love, we want to discuss this topic, and I'm excited because this is also the month of breakups.
Of breakups.
You know?
They don't want to buy the chocolate. And
sometimes because we
are thinking it this year.
Sometimes we start on the wrong footing, making the chocolate man. But it is critical because we want people to have better relationships going forward. If a year ago you were not in love and you are in love, you should be celebrating your anniversary of love, not your anniversary of defeat. Okay? And also you should have matured and grown in your appreciation of yourself, the appreciation of your partner, be it marital relationship, be it corporate, or be it professional. In all these areas I've mentioned, there are potential hotspots that can create conflict. And conflict basically is a misunderstanding between you and I based on certain fundamentals which Nana will elaborate more on. But fundamentally, we are all driven by a certain set of innate and external actions. Things that make you, Rachel, things that make you tick, things that you are not ready to compromise, things that you are not ready to let go just because of who you are, and that is summed up in one word of self-worth. Who you are, the value systems you subscribe to, the things you will die with, no matter how open you may be to me. There are aspects of your life that are only known to you and you keep secret. And there are also aspects of your life that you don't know, and I also don't know. It's only with time that these revelations come. So to put it broadly, these are the fundamentals that will lead us to now have conflicts and how we now go into the resolution of those conflicts.
Nana, interesting. Very insightful. Nana, can you please give us a brief understanding, since you are a conflict expert? How do conflicts come about in relationships, actually?
Thank you for the wonderful question. And I think I'm privileged to be here. My greetings goes to my people at Suma, that is German love. Conflict is part of human life because you were born to preserve yourself. God has created something in you, and those things are what you hold on to. In fact, we are alive today because we feel we are who we are, and therefore conflict comes when that self-values within us, which we value so much, is threatened. We want to fight it. We want to make sure that we protect our self-worth, which Raymond just mentioned. So conflict is about how you have been misunderstood and you want to correct them. In fact, you do things based on your own motives, which is within you. You eat because maybe you are hungry, but somebody thinks that you are eating too much. Somebody is thinking that you are eating because of the taste of the food, but sometimes you know very well, I'm hungry, I want something to eat. That's why you are eating. So when your motives are misunderstood, then you want to correct them. And by so doing, we can fight for it. More especially when we think their perception of us is different from our motives. So conflict comes about because people misinterpret our motives.
But looking at it, we are all individuals. We all have our traits, and all. We can't be alike.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just learn to, I don't know.
That is where we say that awareness of yourself, knowing who you are, and knowing the people you relate to, will help you to manage that aspect. Because if I know myself, and let me say this, there are no weaknesses in any human being. God will not create a human being and put weaknesses there.
Really?
There are strengths, but this strength we call power. When it's overstretched or overused, people perceive you as a negative thing or a weakness. So in relationship, we have to be aware of ourselves and be aware of others. And once we are aware of that, we know that motives drive behavior. Motive drive behavior. So don't use the behavior of the person just to judge the person. And once you get to know who the person is and the motive that drives this person's behavior, you will now understand why they do things they do. So in relationship, you will now communicate effectively. Because when your wife says she needs something, you know it is not being demanding. And that is where, if you have it, you willingly want to do it. And conflict has 3 stages. The first one, I consider myself, I consider the problem at hand, and I consider the person or persons involved. If it is resolved there, depending on who we are dealing with, because we have we have 7 different people when things are going well, and we have 13 different people
but
when things are not going well.
Not to cut you, looking at relationships, the marriage aspect,
Yeah.
you knew the person before getting married to the person, and you know definitely there will be problems. You get it, conflicts. So then, why should it even be a problem?
You said before you go into marriage, you know something. In fact, even you don't know yourself. Even today, as we sit here, I can say you don't know yourself. I can give you some exercise to do. And once you finish that exercise, then you now understand why certain things you do and why you hate some people. You hate them naturally, and that's how you were created. But when you get to know why they also do what you hate, you understand. You know one thing. In fact, what you hate about others is what you lack in your life. What you hate others doing is what you lack as a human being. And when you get to appreciate that what I don't have is what I hate, you now want to have it. And you get them closer. Because without them, you are not a human being. In fact, you are a human being because of other people. So knowing yourself is the most important aspect of building relationship. And how to know yourself is where you understand what trigger conflict for you. There are certain things that will make you fight for. There are certain things you ignore. In fact, the relationship, when you understand this in relationship, you sometimes even want to wear a mask. I don't like this thing my partner is doing. But because of the love I have for the person and the relationship that I want to build, I wear a mask to look like her so that I can accommodate her. So in conflict, when you come to me and you are in conflict, I try to understand the motive first. And I want you to even understand that these are the things that drive this behavior that you are driving. If we agree, then we start working from there.
Interesting. I'll come to you, Raymond. You are a human resource person. You deal with people in an organization. So definitely you've dealt with conflicts.
Plenty.
Yes. What are some of the examples? What causes conflicts? In relationship-wise?
Conflicts are inevitable. Inevitable. Because of different motives and different behaviors, and because people are at liberty to place perceptions to what they see you do.
Sure.
Perceptions are reality to whoever is perceiving that. So if I perceive you to be inquisitive and I am not inquisitive, I will find issues with you on that. Relating it to the corporate world or to work environments, the first place of conflict that I observe is when people feel they've been shortchanged. Remember this, the very first day someone gets a job offer, you are all excited. You even go to church to give testimony and to give fat offerings. Say, Pastor, I was here, you prophesied, I have a job. 3 months down the line, you're like, Pastor, we need deliverance. Because it looks like the devil had decided to fight my blessing. All right?
Yeah, sure.
Why? Because they are what we call psychological expectations. As you go into that job environment, you've been told in black and white what the job entails, what you will have and what you will not have. But somehow, as you work day 1, day 2, day 3, you see other things. In fact, sometimes you didn't realize that some people negotiated better and they had a better package, and yet you feel you are giving up better than that. That could be a problem for conflict. Then also you may have a skills gap. You come into a job and they ask you, do you know how to use Excel? Oh, sure, I can use Excel. And then you realize that the kind of Excel you're talking about, it's not how to open a page, but how to analyze with an Excel.
Sure.
Then, because there is a skills gap, you already begin to feel defeated because that is something you don't want to be exposed. Now, the moment that is exposed, your sense of self-worth reduces, is threatened. And you may have a situation, even for example, presentation skills. You are very good with analysis, but standing in front of people to present is a challenge. And yet, you are in sales and you are supposed to go and win business. And the business is to do corporate presentations. And anytime you have to stand in front of people, your knees get jelly and all that. So on your own, you begin to have internal conflicts. Am I going to keep this job? Am I going to be kicked out? It even becomes worse. Performance review comes and your boss calls you and says, Raymond, you are very good in doing so and so and so. However, when it comes to presentation, you have to say, yeah, I admit I have a challenge with that. If you have a boss that is understanding and wants to help you out, they may prescribe certain training programs for you. And even just to dovetail into training, training is basically done 3 things: to achieve an improved performance, to get a new skill, and to also improve you for opportunities in the future.
Relating it to relationships.
Relationships now.
Some of the causes of
The
conflict.
causes are misplaced priorities, assumptions, negative or wrong assumptions, based on actions, behaviors, and remember that behaviors are driven out of motives. So if my entire motive was to win you over, you will find that I may go beyond myself to kind of impress you. And whilst I make those impressions on you, you are forming opinions and forming beliefs and forming trust and forming a whole lot in what I do. For example, I call you every time, I check up on you. If your currency is low, I send you currency. You understand?
Yeah, sure.
We now get into the relationship, and some way, somehow, I stop calling, I stop being courteous and nice, I start being demanding, and you start asking, but really, something is just, what I think, it's me. Take me or leave me.
The thing is, when someone does something, the person does not know the person is even doing it. They still think they are the same.
Absolutely.
They don't realize the change.
And just to think about that, you see, a human being, and this point I'm going to make, and it's my own conclusion, that people fundamentally, for me, don't really change. Fundamentally, people either adjust or we adapt. That is why when the weather is cold, you are still the same you, but you look for warm things to keep you warm. And when the weather is hot, you want to take off the clothes so you can be cold. So you adapt and adjust as you go along. When I went into relationships, I took my mother as a role model. My mom was a single mother, very capable. I never saw my mother complaining about my dad not giving this, not giving that. She just took charge. So I went into a relationship with that mentality. So the very moment I realized, after several skirmishes to woo the person, I realized that the least thing, she comes crying to you, and I say, hey, I've been shortchanged. Because I saw you as somebody who was capable, someone I could even talk to, someone I could even ask. I go to this person and say, oh, I'm thinking of this. They say, what do you think? I said, I came to you.
And you also asking.
So these are some of the things that can give room to conflict in relationships.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because the person might appear needy, might appear always wanting your opinion, and might appear so demanding, in quote. But the person now perceives that as mean that I care about you. You are the one I share my everything with. You are my brother, you are my... I didn't ask for another relative. For crying out loud. I wanted someone I could make a life with. So societal pressure, psychological pressure, and all sorts of pressures come on the relationship. And it is about awareness. If we are aware that from last year to this year, we've made progress, at least there are certain habits of yours I've now decided to contain. For example, you snore, but in the dating days, I didn't see that. No, but snoring is something that I just can't. But for the sake of the love, I will manage that. Then I don't talk about the snoring, which is a challenge because in conflict, you need to let the person know I am managing it. So the person can actually help you. And sometimes yes, people might assume that they have all it takes to manage the situation. Sometimes you don't have it. You may need professional help. And to recognize the kind of professional help and which professional to go to is important. So what we will recommend as we go along is that people should, in basketball, there's something they call timeout. Take time out to review.
I think we'll come to that one.
Okay.
We're still looking at the causes.
If you want to talk about the causes, I want to demonstrate something.
Can sex be one of the causes of conflicts?
Even the sex, we must do it with motive.
With motive?
Yeah, motive drive behavior. Why do I want to have sex?
What is it?
There is motive. So the whole thing is about who you are, what you want and when you want it. There will be a gentleman who wanted every day. There will be a gentleman who wanted once a week. And when you were dating, it didn't come out because you were not staying together. Maybe you were even Christian, you didn't do it. Now you have proved yourself. That is where you should know the person so that whatever demand the person is making, you don't misconstrue it to mean that the person is demanding. So if you look at that, we relate that one to a personal filters, how people see the same situation from different angles. And I would have preferred that you wear one of the glasses.
I'll wear one.
And Raymond will also wear one. You know there are different colors.
One blue.
No, blue is for men.
No, give it. No.
So I'll take the red.
You take
Give
the red.
the red
Yes.
to her.
Rachel. You will see how
Rachel in red.
Yes. And Raymond, you take the blue, right?
The blue.
How do I look?
See this. As for your look, is not what we are doing. What do you see here?
STI. I see a book.
Okay. The way you see it, the colors. You want to see how you see the colors.
Purple
Okay.
and white.
Seriously?
Wait, what do you see?
Yeah, I see blue. I see a lot of blue colors in that.
You see.
How
So
can you see purple?
remove
Because of
it.
the color.
Remove it, and let's see if all the colors that you saw were there.
Wow, I see it's
So,
blue now.
you see?
Blue and white.
So how you see?
Interesting.
That you were asked whether sex it can
It's
be
a
a
cause,
cause.
yeah.
And I said it is about motives, and motives are based on personal filters.
Sure.
How you see things relating to your motive, and how that person see the same thing relating to their motive, and your behavior with their behavior, there can be a crash.
Wow.
So knowing myself and knowing my partner, and my partner knowing herself and knowing me, will help us to relate to each other, even in sex, without we struggling.
Okay, right?
We'll be right back after this break.
Okay.
Welcome back from the break. If you just joined us, this is still the R&L Show. Makeup and hair by Marwana Makeovers. If you want to acquire a certificate or diploma in makeup and beauty therapy, just enroll in the Marwana Beauty Academy by calling them on 0268 272 536, 0268 272 536, or 0244 281 896, 0244 281 896. Like I said, this year the R&L Show is doing something different. We are going mobile, so if you want to see our resource persons, you want to see Nana, you want to see Raymond, Councillor Lucius, any of our resource persons, including me, just invite us anywhere, any part of the world, we'll come. Just call 055 3378 474, 055 3378 474, and then we'll come to your doorstep. We are treating conflicts in relationships today. Like I was saying, looking at the causes, sure. Yes, and I think we've done some bullet points, so we could just go to the practical aspects of conflicts in relationships.
So the first thing we will talk about, one of the real causes is a lack of understanding. So we must establish understanding. We must establish understanding of behaviors. We must understand motives, and we must be open. You see, the openness is really, really key. In a relationship where there's no openness, everything is subject to assumptions. And like someone actually said, when you make an assumption, you are making an ass of you and me. Why don't we just speak up? It's not for any reason that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we listen and listen well. and then we speak from an informed position rather than an attempt to win an argument. You can win an argument, but you can actually lose a relationship.
In looking at your point, being open to your partner, is there a limit?
There is. We have different levels of maturities. I've been in relationships where people thought that, oh, I'm being very open and about everything. And they've opened it and it's become a Pandora's box. And the next time I see you with that other person, I go like, didn't we just say that this person and this person, so what is happening now? The worst thing you can ever do is to be caught flat-footed.
Sure.
Where you make someone believe actually what you are not. And I will call it a mask.
Yeah.
But sometimes masking is important because as human beings, you cherish maybe the association. Even though you might not like the thing that the person is doing, you can tolerate it. And that's why I kept saying that people can adapt and they can adjust. But do not take them away from who they really are. When everything else is stripped around them, who they are will stand out. So in relationships, the conflicts come when we don't invest enough time to get to know who we are really dealing with. And where to know whether people come into your life, I would say, for a season, for a reason, or for a lifetime. Now, if I come into your life for a season, it means that when the season passes, I'll move on. If I came into your life for a reason, once that reason is met, I move on. Like we all went to school for a reason. When you got a certificate, you went out. But people may come into your life for a lifetime. And those are the ones you want to be very careful about because no matter what you do, they leave remnants in your life. They leave things that some become baggage that you need to carry, and some actually become motivational tools because somebody once gave you a word that has moved you to where you are today. In the same vein, someone's negative comment might have brought you down and you are struggling to come up. So these for me are the critical things that people must watch out for in relationships. And like I said, in the word relationship, two things. There is a relation, and a relation is what? A relative, someone you know, someone you accept, someone you give access into your life and everything. That's a relation. A ship is what? A movement, an object of transport. So you must be sure, do you want to be in a ship with this relation? That is what makes a relationship. When you are in love initially, everything is forgivable until you are hit with reality.
Yeah.
Now, when you now start counting the cost, you go the next time someone comes sweet talking, I better watch out.
Oh, sharp.
You know? And you can become too sharp that the next person that was your best bet suffered your sharpness. And you are not happy. I would want to say that in every relationship, one word stands out: fulfillment. Do I feel fulfilled? Do I feel added onto? Or I feel drained? There are certain relationships that you must necessarily drop. And I will demonstrate by saying that take your phone every year. You are in the season of love. Take out the phone and find out those numbers that call you anytime you seem to have money. How they get to know? It may be a spiritual GPS that they have on you. As soon as some small cash comes your body, they will call you. And they know the timing, they never miss. However, there are some people that will never ever call you. And so you need to go through this process of deleting so you can make room. Do you understand that? You make room to meet the right people. And I always pray that may God take away the wrong people early so that the right people can stay. Amen. Otherwise, the wrong people will damage you so much that when the right people come, you won't see them because of the masking.
Sure. Nana?
Yeah.
Being a chief, I'm sure, or even I know.
You know.
You get to deal with a lot of conflicts.
Of course.
Problems
different
or
levels.
cases,
Yeah.
relationship, marriage, relationship. Yeah. How do you deal with them? Looking at maybe the well-to-do or the well-established people, and then maybe the less privileged, not the not so good people. Which ones come more?
For me, poverty is a state of mind. If you believe you are poor, you are poor. And you will be poor forever. All kinds of people come, bring their cases. They are being sustained. Somebody even promised somebody is no more there. We agreed that we better. These are the boundaries for our farms, but you cross it. This was where my fathers were farming. Now you have crossed it. There are so many things, but you know the fundamental thing about these things, causes and why they bring them is because you go into relationship to improve your self-worth. So anything that within the relationship threatening your self-worth, you fight for. So people come to the palace with their cases because they want to fight and win the case. In fact, if they know that when they come, they will lose, they won't come. So they come in different shapes, different types, and when they normally come, the reason why we ask series of questions about statements they have made is to know their motives. Sometimes somebody will just be somebody. Somebody told me that this person insulted me.
Someone told you.
That is even where it is more complicated. And these are the cases that come more. Most of the times, these are the cases that comes to us. Hearsay. And when somebody hears something about you and he wants to tell you, and he knows you, he look at you and he will present it in a way that you would like him presenting or her.
Sure.
And therefore, sometimes you come in, you ask the questions, and the person who even told you is the one who has insulted you. But he didn't bring that person, so we cannot take that person to task. Person become your witness and now come and expose you. So in conflict and relationship, the conflict that arises come because people's self-worth are threatened. And this self-worth, it is created with you. And therefore, whether you are rich or poor, as you want to put it, you go into conflict. And many a times when they come and we want to resolve these issues, some of them just want to say that what people thought about them are not true. And that alone is enough. You can even say that now that the truth has come out, and they know that I am not like this, I have forgiven him or her, for I don't need anything to be taken for that purpose. So we resolve this conflict when you have to understand their motives, why they are fighting for what they are fighting for. Truly, they are the right.
What are some of the relationship conflicts that come to you?
Well, it's about family. In my case, because I'm a paramount chief, the marriage issues doesn't come to my palace. Because
Okay. Raymond, your last words.
So my last words would be, let's have a conflict-free Valentine's season. Let's ensure that we appreciate our partners. It takes effort for someone to decide to be with you in a relationship. There are people that for a number of weeks and months, no one has really said hi to them. And they also live. So if you're fortunate to have someone in your life, appreciate them. And the more you appreciate somebody, the more the person is willing to keep that appreciation.
Nana, people go for counseling.
Yeah.
Relationships still break. Is
Because
counseling necessary?
because they still don't know the person, and they don't even know themselves. So if you know your partner, you know yourself, these things will not happen.
Thank you very much, Nana
always
and
welcome.
Raymond, for making it on the R&L Show. I'm very honored to have these distinguished guests on my show today. Avoid conflicts in relationships. Happy Val's Day in advance.
Happy Val's Day too.
Let's enjoy the month of love. My name is still Rachel Engmann. Thank you for watching the R&L Show. Thanks to my sponsors, Center of Awareness, Mawena Makeovers. Like I said, we are doing something different this year. We are going mobile. So if you want to see our resource persons, myself, and anyone, just call us on 055-33-78474, 055-33-78474. Any part of the world will come. Thanks for watching.